you are watching this before the previous recording, please don't go back and start from there. This is part 2, continuing with Ascension 101, and we are talking about the first phase of the 3D. Okay, so in earlier lifetimes, we were accumulating, trying to settle all our karmas. Now, to understand Ascension, a lot of understanding of karma needs to take place. But very briefly, in one line, karma is like your accounts book. Okay. Every time you do something, take something without returning, it goes into your debit, or rather that you owe this to someone, and when you give, it is in your credit. When you give too much, then in the next life or in that very life you need to receive. There needs to be a balance or an equation. Karma also is these days used in us as a synonym for consequences. It is consequences because of the factor of give and take, of bringing it all back to 0 point. Now, it is an entirely different workshop. If any one of you want to understand in depth about karma, I can hold a separate workshop for that. But right now we are moving on. So in the first phase of our 3D, okay, where everything was about others. The society was important. What our neighbors thought about us was important. There, if you start looking at the structure, it took a village. Everyone was kind of involved in everyone's life, alright? And then as the structure, as you will see, as we were descending into the next phase or ascending into the next phase, it has been breaking down. People seem to think it's a bad thing. It's just progression. Okay, it's just forward movement and things change. Change is not a bad thing. Change is in fact the only truth, and it is always going to take place one way or another. Okay, so from the village it became joint families. Joint families, not just your grandfather and your father and siblings. It was, father with his brother, all their children, maybe the sister, maybe somebody else, all of them living in this grand Haveli kind of structure. And there was a matriarch, there was a patriarch, there was the head of the family, and then the rest of the whole family was there. After that came the structural collapse of the joint family, and it became a singular joint family with just your, perhaps the grandparent, your you as the parent, for example, and your children. 3 generations, max 4 generations, but singular. They started living together. That broke down because of job opportunities or ego hassles or other reasons. People started separating, and they made their unit of their family. So that became about you and your children. After that, it has moved to a lot of divorces happening. Again, not a bad thing. Divorce generally indicates your karma with that person is over. We'll come to that. So after that, it became about quasi families, where there are 2 sets of parents to the same child. The mother has remarried, the father has remarried, and the child has 2 sets of parents. Multiple uncles and aunts, and hopefully on good equation with everyone. The concept of step no longer being there. The step siblings have become what were cousins in the previous generation, perhaps. After that, now it is the time where most people don't want to get into a committed relationship, or they're not in a rush to. A lot of people are finding themselves single. Now, the important thing in the ascension process that we are going through in phase 2, moving on to 4D, is all of it became internalized. It became about your inner self. The fight earlier was about others, or what others want from you, what others' expectations are from you, and you would become diplomatic. You would suppress your emotions, you would suppress your dreams for somebody else's happiness sake. And now it is about going inward and finding inner balance, inner marriage, inner unity, inner alignment. For that you have to first collapse. Alright, that is what people are finding very difficult to do. Is like an onion, you have to keep removing each layer after layer. So what essentially is happening at one level of ascension is you're having to go back all what you have experienced in this life as well as in your subconscious. The clearing is happening of all your previous lifetime worth of experiences, and especially the negative ones, because what you are essentially doing is carrying on you baggages and pain and grief and sadness and heartbreak which has no bearing upon your now. If they happen, you were either settling a score in the sense of karmic ties. There was a give and take, it got over, the person left you, but you're sitting there harboring a heartbreak. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to bless the person for helping you clear your karma with them, right? You're supposed to move on. Something that happened years ago, if you're still carrying the pain of it, how do you know you're still carrying the pain of it? It's because you're constantly repeating that story whenever you get the opportunity. You want to keep telling the people, and it still affects you. If it's still evoking emotion in you, you're not over it. Now, the universe said enough is enough. We need to move on. Alright? We need to move on. So now you need to start clearing everything. And those are what are coming up in the form of triggers. So when something happens, it is actually reminding you of something that happened in the past, and that is your cue that you need to release it, heal it, figure out why did this make me feel like this? Why do I feel abandoned every time someone chooses something else? It does not mean they're not choosing me, etc. This will be covered in the inner work workshop. So if you're interested in that, you can still enroll with me for that workshop. Alright, how to do thorough inner job and inner clearing and releasing. Alright, so this is why it is very, very important. Now what surfaces when we are doing this feeling, whether we are doing it consciously, then it becomes much easier. You're aware what is happening. But for others, it's not that they are being spared. Everyone is going through it. The only thing is they get muddled. They are in too much pain because they don't understand what the hell is happening to them. Alright, and the clearing happens in a much more prolonged manner. So something that you will be able to clear in a matter of few days. Hopefully after you've reached a certain stage, in a matter of few hours and minutes at times. Alright, others have been taking, or you were previously taking, years and months to clear. So that is one of the benefits. The more consciously you do this work, the easier it is. You are able to move through your dense and heavy and negative emotions and experiences. You're able to filter it that much quickly because your filter is clean. The water, dirty water will move through very quickly, and here is the clean water. But when your filter is dirty, it has accumulated years and lifetime worth of dirt, it takes that much more time to clear it. So as we are doing that, we have moved into the second phase when you realize that you have been interested in metaphysics and spirituality, and the fact that you are taking this workshop, you're either in phase 2 or you're already in 4D. So we're going to continue with this in the part 3 of this workshop.